Vendors show more of their creative side at the Oystons Fish Festival. The annual giant kite flying event in St. Joseph is a soaring success. And in sports, Barbados are up against it to make the Headley Weeks final.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
A very good evening to you. I'm Sophia Cambridge with this Easter Monday, April 21st edition of the CBC Evening News. In our top story tonight, as the Oystons Fish Festival winds down this evening, we're hearing that some vendors have been making more creative efforts with their offerings this year in a bid to stand out in the crowd. They've added new twists to products ranging from paintings to footwear.
Well, as far as the frame is, that's another novelty or another new idea. As far as the gifts is concerned for the tourists, so it's something new that and exciting that they will like.
Sometimes the vases can take me, if I work steadily, it can take me about a day to make. Other times it may take me a bit longer. But in terms of the design, I don't find that the design for the vases difficult at all. And most of the time I would start with one shape and I apply it, and by the time I may have one thing in mind as I go along, and by the time I'm finished I have something completely different.
Mainly sheepskin, which is the soft one, and then the cow skin, which is a little bit stiffer, which you use for the inner sole, and the sheepskin is mainly for the top. So, you know, like for instance, you can stitch the top if it's soft, right, with the machine, you know, like this. You know, so this is soft. So I can stitch this and then I can use it to, you know, design a more comfortable shoes here. Right now, my source is out of Georgetown, Guyana, but currently, you know, we're trying to pursue some avenues where right here in Barbados, where we can use the black belly sheep, you know. So it's because apparently, like, it's been exported to Canada now to be treated, which we can do that right here, you know. So we look at the possibilities of really getting the skins to utilize the skin, because there's a high demand for, you know, creative leather product.
Well, in other news, Minister of Industry, International Business, Commerce and Small Business Development, Donald Innes, says middle-income families have been shouldering the brunt of the challenges in the economy for way too long. Minister Innes was speaking as his St. James South branch hosted its annual Family Fun Day at the Ridge at Wanstead, St. James. He says he's received numerous complaints from constituents in that category who believe that they are overtaxed. The minister says this can be remedied by growing the economy.
Expand business. Ensure that this economy is more private sector led, where the government's role is to provide an enabling environment. Ensure that we attract more tourists to Barbados who are going to spend money, which means that our tourist plant and services have to be functioning at a level that's the envy of the rest of the world. It means our international business sector have to be producing a lot more than it currently is, which means getting into new markets, providing better service levels here in Barbados.
Well, planned restructuring at the Royal Bank of Canada could see about 12 employees being made redundant. That's according to General Secretary of the Barbados Workers' Union, Sir Roy Trotman. He says the union recently held talks with the bank officials to look at the exercise and the process that is to be followed.
We have been discussing with them, again, the process relating to how that matter should go. They have agreed with us regarding the process that was to be followed and what will go forward into the future. And I think that all that is left here would be for some details to be worked out regarding the nature of the separation package in those cases.
Well, Sir Roy says the union has also scheduled separate meetings with the Royal Bank to look at the possible closure of some of its branches. Sad news now, a 57-year-old man drowned at the popular Enterprise or Miami Beach this afternoon. He is Barbadian Clyde Lane, who has lived and worked in New York for the past 30 years, but was home for a week with his wife, Anne. They were scheduled to return to New York tomorrow. Police say it was sometime between 3:30 and 4 o'clock this afternoon when Lane went to retrieve a radio-controlled boat that had malfunctioned when he got into difficulty. He was eventually brought to shore by his brother, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. Several family members gathered at the scene and openly wept as police carried out their investigations nearby. In the meantime, the search is on here in Barbados for a missing British national. He is 43-year-old J. Merriman Makuro, who was last seen at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday, Sunday, by his wife in the water off Rockley Beach in Christchurch. Police say Makuro was staying at Rockley Christchurch. He is about 5 feet 7 inches tall, of slim build and of dark complexion. If you have information on the whereabouts of J. Merriman Makuro, please call police emergency number 211 or 430-7100, or alternately, the nearest police station. An Eastertide story now. Well, it may not have made the Guinness Book of Records, but it was definitely one for the record books here in Barbados. 2 massive kites, 28 and 30 feet each, were the main attraction at Andrew's Tenantry in St. Joseph, as a record number of Barbadians flocked to the rural parish to see if they'd fly. The 30-foot one was flown, and it took more than 15 robust men to hoist it in the air. On the first attempt, it was airborne for a mere 30 seconds before landing in some trees. That did not break the spirit of those behind the effort, as residents quickly retrieved it and trimmed the trees for the second attempt. This time it soared, and reports reaching the Cbc newsroom indicate that it is still in the air. Kite maker Nello Maskell says 5 men worked on constructing the kite, which needed a 50-foot long tail. He says the effort is all part of boosting community spirit in the area.
We welcome people to come and visit here, but as I said, it's just a matter of community spirit and having good fun. You know, just having the kids enjoying themselves. And basically, we just do it for just nothing, just pure enjoyment, really.
Meanwhile, MP for St. Joseph, Dale Marshall, welcomed the visitors. He sees the potential for the event, but he wants it to remain community-based.
While of course we'd like to see this event grow in terms of spectators, obviously the space is limited, but that is the uniqueness of it. For things like this to grow, of course, then you know you're looking at a bigger place, and then that will cause, it will have to move out of this district, and then we've lost it, and we really don't want that. So the space confines us, but that's perhaps the beauty of it. It remains a village event.
Well, in Jamaica, a police officer is being investigated tonight following a shooting incident at a party in Mile Gully, Manchester on Good Friday. It left 2 people injured, 1 critically. Senior Public Relations Officer for the Independent Commission of Investigations, Camille Reid, reports that the incident happened at about 3 o'clock in the morning on Good Friday following an altercation with a patron. Head of the Manchester Police Division, Superintendent Marlon Nesbitt, says the officer has been removed from active duty while investigations are conducted.